Good afternoon, everybody. So we are here for a very interesting discussion, yin and yang, which is a popular Chinese philosophy, which says that the negative and the positive forces pull and keep an entity in place. How does this reply on retail? So I've been thinking a lot on this, and I found that India being an economy which is growing very fast, we have seen many homegrown brands which are coming up and many foreign brands which are interestingly coming to India and finding a place and being accepted by us. Similarly, many regional brands which are going outward and many global brands which are going inwards in our region. So what are the forces that are driving them? What are the challenges that they are facing? How are they finding a place in the whole ecosystem of retail? We are going to find out. Let's begin. So I would start with Darpan. Darpan, you have a very, very big experience in retail and you have been managing many brands together. And of late, I've seen that you are expanding your business outside, not? And what are the forces that are driving you outside and what are the challenges that you're facing there?
We started in '89 and when we started, it was, the fashion was consigned to very limited cities. Chandigarh being the prime center of Punjab, Haryana, Himachal, J&K and Chandigarh, J&K. People even to have pizza used to come to Chandigarh, you know. There was no Pizza Hut in Ludhiana or no KFC anywhere. Now that everywhere you have the KFC or restaurants and all those things which are available in other cities also. It is now, customers are buying from the cities which are not the main cities, which are cities not very popular. So what I'm trying to say is that it's first everything was consigned to Delhi, Bombay, Chennai, and all those things. Now, availability of the fashion has to be there where the customer is. So now all the cities has entertainment, food. That is what is forcing us to go outside and open stores wherever the population is, society is consuming. So this is how it is.
Thank you. I hear availability of fashion, which is a very interesting thing which I should follow. So when we were discussing this internally, Agnes, I came to know the Moza. So the name itself is not Indian. And the brand was conceived with a global expansion in mind, which is very interesting again. So how many stores do you have and how do you plan to take it outside?
Actually, when we want to launch a brand, we were thinking a brand which is global. We don't want to go region. We had a very long-term vision. That's why we started Moza. So of course, you know, I'm from organized retail background. So we had a large expansion in shop-in-shop through LFS. We have around 700 counters. That kind of gave us an insight in terms of which market, what kind of product, what kind of fashion acceptability. As Mr. Darpan said, the fashion capital in India is Delhi. So Delhi starts, then rest of the India follows. So when we also looked at expanding our retail network, after Bangalore, of course, that's our home ground. Our major expansion was in North. That's where our customers are there. We should go where the customers are there, which is actually giving us the, you know, good reach. Acceptance is much better. As of now, we have about 65 stores across India, primarily focused on metros, not so much in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. And we're expanding more, going deeper in the cities where we are operating.
Thank you so much, Agnes. Now, while listening to you, there is something that comes to my mind, is the perceived value. Most of the time, we perceive a brand before we experience the brand. So there is something from South, there is something from North. Whenever I say I'm from North, I have some perception in my mind that the brand will be behaving like this, and this is mostly for eateries. Like Shriram was discussing with me, whether he said that whenever we say South India, only idli comes in my mind or dosas come in my mind, but then South Indian palate is much more. There is much more interesting thing which the yin and yang should follow is from Korea. So Mahesh is running a brand from Korea, and the brand is now growing inward in India. Mahesh, the question that comes to my mind, how do you think that you stand in front of the brands which are already established in India in terms of pizza? Because whenever we say pizza, I wouldn't name the brand, something else comes in my mind. So is it a delivery brand? And then also how Koreans are driving it through pop? Let us know about it. And what are the forces that are driving you to become popular in India?
Thanks. Hi, I'm Mahesh. I handle GOPIZZA, CEO and MD.
Louder, Mahesh.
CEO and MD. GOPIZZA, it's the South Korean brand. We recently started after third wave. We are at South Korea, we are at Singapore, Indonesia, Hong Kong, Japan, and India. We started from Bangalore. We opened after third wave COVID, we opened 15 outlets at Bangalore, at airport and all the malls like Phoenix, Forum, Orion. GOPIZZA, now you'll be thinking pizza brands are already there. Yes. We use artificial intelligence. We are users like Web 3.0 and Industry 4.0. We use robotics. And now you'll be thinking, what's different in GOPIZZA? Shape, it's an oval shape, not the round shape. Size, shape, service, and speed with affordable price, with Korean menu and Indian menu mix. GOPIZZA stands for pizza for everyone. That's GOPIZZA. The pizza comes, oval shaped pizza comes in Go oven, which is a stone-based oven, and it's an oven, the pizza which can be served within 5 minutes. Normally the pizzas take 15 to 20 minutes, but we serve in 5 minutes. So that's how the speed also. Now from Bangalore, now we'll be heading to Hyderabad, Chennai and other cities. As of now, by this year end, we'll be having 30 outlets. And by next year, we will touch 100. That's the plan for India.
Thank you so much. I think we require to throw more light on the challenges you face when you expand. And what are the opportunities you see when you come out of Bangalore?
As it's as you all know, in fact, I was beginning to checking with you whether you are aware of BTS, whether you are of K-pop, whether you are aware of Netflix Squid Games. This is the trend which is going on and that's helping us. And yes, BTS is also a brand ambassador at South Korea. And when they come to India, and across cities when we are expanding, they will come and promote us. We see, if in my entire tenure, we wouldn't have seen after the COVID so much of expansion in the QSR and F&B industry. Now we have third wave, we have Starbucks expanding, KFC expanding, Pizza Hut expanding, California Burrito expanding, Taco Bell expanding. So many brands were not there 20 years back or 10 years back. In fact, I still remember when I started my career, my parents used to ask, what is this pizza, roti ke upar sauce, and it's not costly. But today, if you'll see, the born baby who used to order for a birthday party milk, today in the birthday party, they order pizzas. And that's the change which we see. That's the customers, new customers which we see. And you will see across in all the tiers, this affordable pizza at all 2 tiers and 3 tiers, everybody will accept and everybody, and India is a potential. And that's how the South Korean brand feel. And in fact, we just recently raised C-Series funding. And it's been very successful from South Korea itself. And they see India and the Bharat, today's Bharat, as more potential than any other country. China, because they cannot go now. So it's the Bharat which is happening. And we are at the right place at the right time and with the right product.
Wow, so that sounds so good. Where the Bharat or the Indians are accepting pizza, I see room for biryanis. So how is that, Gautam, that in this world where in the Western food and the croissants are becoming so popular, you are catching the attention of the people. Told you earlier also, customer is never loyal. It's a myth that we follow, and we think that we are going to win customer loyalty. I have yet to find a loyal customer. So it is to attract the attention of the customer and make them follow you and accept you. So in this world of pizzas and burgers and what do you call pastas, how is biryani finding room and acceptance? The yin and the yang you should share with us.
Yeah. So Paradise, as you know, is a legacy brand.
I can't hear you.
Paradise, as you know, is a legacy brand, almost close to 70 years in existence. Incidentally, some of you may be aware that biryani is the largest selling category in the country. So, biryani is the comfort food of India. Everywhere you go, if you go to any Indian restaurant across the country, north, east, west, south, you will find Hyderabadi dum biryani on the menu. And there are 200 different types of biryani in the country. As they say, every 100 kilometers, the biryani changes, right? So, for us, I think expansion, and as you said, yin and yang, I think it's a very interesting and a very important challenge. In our industry, there are three dimensions. If I look at it very simplistically, and a lot of stalwarts are here, three important dimensions to win a customer and hopefully retain that customer. One is the taste. Taste is very, very important. Second is the concept of convenience. And post-COVID, you know, convenience has really taken to the next level. And third is experience. Apart from taste and convenience, the experience is important.
Are we forgetting the price?
Yeah, so price is something which is like hygiene in India, value for money. I don't say price, I would say value for money. There are brands at the mass end. We are a masstige brand. We are somewhere in the middle. And then there are premium brands as well. You see across categories, right? There is a Maruti and there is a Mercedes-Benz as well. So, when we look at these three things, the concept of Bharat versus India, I think one of the things which we have experienced is the smaller towns. And that's one dimension I like to give, because we are now expanding in tier 2 towns of AP, Telangana, and so on and so forth. So when we look at convenience versus experience, it is very interesting. In the larger cities, we are finding people are accepting a brand because of convenience. So home delivery is becoming very, very popular. In the same post-COVID world, when you go to a smaller town, experience is still very, very important. So that is reflected in our dine-in sales. So that's the yin and the yang, right? We can't have a choice. We have to gear up our business for dine-in as well as for delivery. But this is the shade of difference which is there. The point on taste is very interesting and much debated. So there is this whole concept of customization. You know, we know that India is not one country. In fact, India has hundreds of socio-cultural regions. The choice for a brand is, do we customize for the local customer or do we stick to our core? And I think different brands have different take. I think it's all linked to what the brand stands for. At the same time, how is your execution capability? Our choice has been that we are not a biryani player. We are very clear we are a Hyderabadi biryani player. Because Hyderabadi biryani is the brand within the biryani category itself. However, having said that, we do recognize that customers need some customization so that the brand comes closer to it. So we don't alter our core products. But what we do is when we go to a special socio-cultural region, for example, in our case, in parts of Andhra and Telangana and even Tamil Nadu, spice, people need more spice level than people in Hyderabad. So we don't tweak our recipe. What we do is we launch products as what we call the LTOs or innovation to cater to that particular taste. So I think yin and yang have to go together. They are coexisting, and that's the beautiful challenge of running a business.
Beautifully put. I'm so happy to see that you are catering to localized tastes and capture the attention of the customer. We also have here with us, I'll come to the consultants later because let the retailers speak first. Now when we have an Australian chocolate brand here, Chaitanya, which in the world of mithais, how do you think that chocolate is fitting in, and what are the measures you are taking to win the loyalty or the attention of the customers, and how do you see yourself growing? Are you looking at smaller cities or are you looking at metros, and which is the place where you find challenging and which are the place which you find very easily acceptable?
Good afternoon all. The Chocolate Room is the chocolate cafe, first chocolate cafe in India. I think the brand is from Australia. When we started in the brand 2007, so we was thought of like, no, we should start in metro city or a regional city. So in the year of 2007, the cafe market is an emerging market. So there are not much players in the industry. And we thought of like to go in a regional area. That's where we choose the Ahmedabad space. That is the city that time in 2007 is a regional for us. So we started our brand in Indian context from regional area to brought up through as in a franchisee route, scale up the across pan India. All now we are opening in somewhere like metro cities across pan India. 200 stores we have through route of a franchisee. So without taking any funding, we are running the brand from since 15 years.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah. So it's in this cafe industry is an emerging industry. There is a lot of challenges we face because to introduce something, a new concept in India, definitely you need to work hard. And what is exactly, like rightly said the Gautam, because it's like this, because the experience is more an important thing. Because once the customer come to your any restaurant or a cafe, whatever, that it's like, the experience, because we were maintain that, the ambience of the store and the quality of the food. So just like to customer, to experience. So then they never forget your brand. So they keep on comes. So we are staying, even post-COVID also, we are staying in the market without funding means, because of we given a great experience to the customer and the quality of the food we are carry forwarding. So that is the reason we are here today.
Very good. Experience driven always wins. So people either remember something which is very good or which is very bad. Average is long forgotten.
Exactly.
I would like to draw attention towards a South Indian brand, Bharadwaj. So now is that you have, I see that you are confined to South. And although Indian market, Pan India is very big, and you were just telling me that your brand is also accepted abroad. There is one thing that comes to my mind, what is keeping you from coming and expressing yourself in North? And what is that one thing that why are you not breaking the walls and going abroad? Please throw some light on that.
Hi, Bharadwaj here. I represent the company Sai Silks Kala Mandir. So Sai Silks Kala Mandir have a portfolio of brands for different segments. Like for example, KLM Fashion Mall caters to a different segment from the lowest price range to the highest price range. And see, we have 46 stores as of today with around 550,000 square feet spread across in these 4 states. So now our expansion plans were we started our first store in Hyderabad with a mere 3,000 square feet. And then what we did was we added more stores to the same city. So the reason we did that is because it gives you a lot of scalability, a lot of visibility, a lot of branding, a lot of media.
Competition.
And absolutely, it basically I am able to capture the entire competition in that area. So the expansion phase for us is where we do it in a cluster model, where we enter first with one store, and in no time we capture the entire market. So that has been the strategy across. And then we moved into Karnataka, and then Tamil Nadu. And now we are expanding into the North Indian market. So over the course of 17 years in our journey, what we did was like, we have the entire portfolio. So you put me in the most smallest village, I have a format. If you put me in a best metropolitan like Delhi, Mumbai, I have a format. So diversification, so to make sure that, we have offerings to whoever, whenever the needs are, is basically the plan for us to like expand. And it did not happen easily. What is the biggest challenge when you want to expand from place one to place two? You need to know the markets and need to have the right systems and the right people. Regional retailers generally, like, what I've seen is like, in most parts of the country, people drive the systems, I was just telling you. But systems need to basically drive. I think for me, the yin and yang, the harmony comes through when you're supported and your decisions are very severely supported by data, and the human intelligence element on sitting on top of the data is basically going to give you that perfect harmony for you to like, expand from place A to place, because we cannot be omnipresent, and you need to have the right systems, right team to make sure. And I think the pandemic, pre-pandemic and post-pandemic area made the world much smaller, and I think the adaptation of technology, the digital payments, these things have like, created a huge impact in not only tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So I think the expansion phase in North India is going to be soon. I think regional players are no more going to be called regional. I think they are expanding in a very severe and a very aggressive format. And coming to the international things, like, we being typically and predominantly sari and Indian ethnic wear, I think I have shipped my products to almost 21 countries just in the last 12 months, 12 to 20 months, I think. Yeah, so we are being received. It's just that, the convenience, I think the discovery is all what it matters. And I think you need to give them an experience. As I was listening to a gentleman yesterday, now we are in a world where you can actually ask a customer to come to your physical store once, but is he in a position to come back again to your store again? What is that you need, right? You need to give an experience. We all talk about giving them an experience, but are we actually giving?
Wonderful. And one thing which caught my attention was system should drive people. And so we have retailers who have very good system in place. Now comes the role of consultants who will scout space for you. And these are basically, they are the ones who will advise you about local culture, who will also tell you that whether this would work or what would work. Scout people, getting the right people, because from one region, India is also, I say, it is land of many countries together. People who are rightly placed and selling and understanding the local of Chennai might not understand what is there in for Delhi. And wherein then Shriram, your role comes into play, wherein we have so many opportunities for people who are very well established in different regions of the world or different regions of Pan India, wherein they should be expressing themselves and to different other regions where they are already successful. How do you plan, and what would be your advice besides the supply chain and other things which they need to establish? Which will be the place they should better express themselves, and what should they look into?
Namaskar. Very relevant question, Benu ma'am. I think from the perspective of regional players who've been quite known in their micro market where their subscription levels are very high, they have been restricted because of a certain preconceived parameter which they've been working on for years, which never allowed them to explore new markets. I would, post-pandemic, I think everybody has rethought about their strategies, that how to kind of spread into more micro markets which are in different parts of the country. While if you look at the topography and the geography of our nation, it is from from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, there is a lot of diversity in terms of geographic aspects, palettes, the way people dress up, the way people go out, the shopping patterns, from perspective from place to place. However, a very interesting situation which we came across while in between the pandemic. We saw a lot of local leader concepts which have been working in major metro cities started looking at micro markets which were evolved and had a certain affinity towards the brand. They opened up for them, and while they opened up, they gave a large opportunity to these brands to grow. These micro markets acted very differently. They were not acting like the major metro cities where the rents are high, the cost of occupancy is very high. But the interesting part is the numbers which these markets threw up were more than convincing and satisfactory to the players F&B and retail as well. So the moment they started looking at this, their supply chain, which was not built for running a store which was maybe 300 kilometers or 400 kilometers away from their main nodal backend, we saw a lot of new ways to supply, how to create new ways to, in the F&B sector, we saw a lot of new evolution which happened, and from perspective of raw material, the way they got supplied in. And from the retail, and from the landlord point of view or from the real estate point of view, these markets gave a lot of support to these local leaders to welcome them in the newer markets where there were capex support coming in.
That's
and stuff like that.
Very nice, Shriram. I would like to cut you here. Very good thing that you've shared. I would like to draw my attention to Ajay now. Ajay, I was waiting for the last because I thought we had more time and you could contribute more towards it. You represent a foreign agency from outside which is scouting for places for retailers in India. So you stand at a place wherein you have a chance to get global retailers to come and represent here. So what would be your take on this, and how would you like to advise them to go in Indian markets?
Yeah, thank you. So Berkshire is here in India for the last few months, and how they see the office market and retail market from global perspective, so they understand the e-commerce, the phygital, and the brick and mortar business. So what has predominantly looked, they have zeroed down few businesses to initiate here. So they've seen the local homegrown brands that has grown, whether it was Sector 17 as Fashion Street, or Palika Bazaar for garments, or Mohan Singh Place, or Linking Road for Bombay, or the new Whitefield. So how the government has come out from overrun surplus exports to a branded industry in last 2.5 decades, and how the regional players has brought those cultures and qualities to the total overall regional look, and the chance where now we see a vice versa, where these brands have a positioning themselves to be now getting into the European countries as their independent stores, and also to the US. So we see a large market on the big boxes, more coming up here in India, although few like Metro wants to exit, but Costco wants to come in, or few more brands wants to come in. So there's a lot of opportunity among the large boxes, which they will have MBOs, and most of the regional player would like to take position there and open up these outlets. And under one umbrella, I think there is a large opportunity where we see malls definitely is our first choice to be in. And we are collaborating with most of the malls where we see there's a multi-city dimensions and expansions. And I think that's what our first year vision is.
Thank you so much, Ajay. So with constraints of time, we'll have to end the session here. We had a long panel and I wanted to ask more questions, but unfortunately no time. But all I can see is that there is yin and the yang, means the homegrown and the foreign brands are equally existing and keeping customer in, giving diversity to us, and the palette size is increasing. The taste of the customer is increasing, and you guys are working hard towards maintaining a proper balance for the ecosystem of retail. Thank you so much. ask for audience if there's any questions which you would like to ask our panelists. I guess no questions. Thank you so much.